Howdy, and welcome to the Choose a Happy Day show, a podcast for women who want to up-level their life, manifest those dreams, and just live happier. If you have vision boards, love energy work, are into psychics, and feel you are meant for something more in this life, then this show is for you. Hi, I'm Lorraine Toth, an award-winning filmmaker, author, Reiki master, photographer, and creative genius who also loves to vision board. And I am here to bring you all of the tips and tricks to help you up-level your life. Now let's go and hop on that happy train.
All right, so welcome back, everyone, to the Choose a Happy Day show. Today, I have someone who I just met, who I can't wait to introduce you to. We have Jess Parillo.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, so Jess, I've been stalking probably since last August because our good friend Miranda insisted I meet you. And she said you were like a master manifester, and anyone like that I need to meet. So can you tell the audience what you do?
Sure. I am an intuitive coach. I am a manifestation mentor. So I work with women who are really ready to unlock the next level in their life and business.
Ah, okay. So do you help them manifest money or their dream career?
I help them step into their dream life and business. And so whatever that looks like for them. So we work a lot on strengthening intuitive intelligence. We work on mastering manifestation. We work on integrating intuition and following signs through learning how the universe communicates with us. And it really culminates with embodying who we're really meant to be.
Okay.
So
yes. And I signed up for your Signs and Synchronicities class, and I'm like halfway through, and there's so many things like, it's like you know it, but then you have to actually implement it, right? So your class helps them actually use the tools.
Yes, the Signs and Synchronicities Masterclass is a really great way to get started. It's a really good introduction, and it's also a great refresher too for people that are already well versed in how the universe communicates, because we forget. We get busy with life and day-to-day things, and we get sidetracked and we get distracted. So it's a really great way to just be reminded of how supported and guided we truly are every day.
Okay. And then your other courses I saw on your website were more like for the business coaching or that aspect?
Right. I offer more private coaching and more group coaching. So just more intimate, depending on the level of where a particular client is and in wanting to have those kinds of conversations and understanding those topics and their at whatever level they feel that they're at. I meet them.
Nice. All right. Well, I have to say, I feel like a master manifester these days. But let's get our audience, right, up to that level. So I have a list of questions here for her today. I want to give you guys some like actual take-home key takeaway tips. And my first one is, tell us, why are you qualified to teach this? Can you give us a backstory or maybe something that you've manifested using your tools?
I think that what I've come to realize is everybody has psychic abilities. Everybody is able to access their intuition. And I think that we just are conditioned to override our intuition constantly. And it wasn't until I had the space in my own life with some life changes that happened a few years ago that I was really able to dive into that space and cultivate my own intuitive connection. And as soon as I did that, everything sort of fell into place. I started being able to attract things that had been just dreams of mine. And I started having conversations around what I was doing and how I was actually doing it. And so I think the biggest manifestation to date has been this business and this ability to teach other women how to really tap into our own intelligence, our own intuition, because we have all the answers and all the information we ever need. We already know. We just forget that we know.
Yes.
And so my role is not to tell women what to do, it's to remind them that they already know what to do.
That
so
they have the answers
they
within
have the
and
answers.
to like trust themselves,
Right.
with those decisions, I
Right.
assume.
Right. And it's through conversations that we have that are intuitively led that they are able to see they do actually have the answers. And so they begin to trust themselves more, and therefore they receive more guidance, and they start to manifest, and then they trust themselves more. And then it's an ongoing cycle of just constant validation.
Oh, perfect. All right. So would you consider yourself a psychic? Can you predict the future?
I cannot predict the future.
Oh, okay.
I don't consider myself psychic in the traditional sense, but again, I believe everybody has psychic abilities, and it's just a matter of learning how to tap into them for yourself.
Okay, perfect. All right. So my next question was leading your life versus living it and following your intuition. And what do you mean by this? Can you unpack this for us?
Sure. So leading your life is being intentional. It's directing your life and how you want to live it. It's understanding that there is an actual co-creation process with the universe, and that you actually have the ability to create your dream life. It's there for you. And living your life to me is just living via distraction. It's just living, it's going through the motions. And so what a beautiful way to actually live your life is by leading it and actually directing the course of your life rather than just reacting to things that happen every day. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. So they can choose to get out of that cycle of like Groundhog Day, right?
Right.
They can be the author of their own story, right?
Right. That's right.
Perfect. All right. So that's what leading your life is. Because I think you said that in one of your Instagram videos, and I was like, ooh, that's great. That's a hot topic. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, because if you set intentions and you realize that the universe is there guiding you, then you do begin to see the beautiful dance between your intention and your desire, and then where the universe rises to meet you. It's a beautiful way to go about your day, knowing that you're supported and that you can manifest and you can create your dream life if you're open to it and have that level of awareness.
Okay. So can we unpack it even further for like the beginning manifester out there? There's this woman, she wants to know if she's in the right relationship. And she's thinking of moving across the country, and she doesn't know if she should stay. Like, how do we unpack this for this woman? How does she tap in to the universe and use her intuition to lead her life?
So I always start off with every client asking the same question, and it's, what do you want?
What do you want?
What do you want?
Because what do you want?
Because so often we don't know what we want.
Right.
We don't. We think we know what we want, but we don't truly know what we want. And so that alone is just a really great place to start, because it starts the whole contemplative process. So what I would do in that situation is ask this woman, what do you truly want? Not what do you think you want? What does your partner want? What do your kids want potentially? What do your friends want? Like, what do you truly want? And then one step further is, how do you want to feel? Like, how do you actually want to feel? And what do you want life to feel like? From there is usually where your intuitive sense can come in, because it will start to highlight certain either action steps to take or certain areas of life to focus on. And sometimes in that situation, it's moving is not necessarily a way to fix problems,
right?
Or that may not be the solution. The solution may be more inner work. And so there's a lot of questions and a lot of things that can come out from just those two questions alone. So it can be really, really impactful. Yeah. And it's funny in a way how many times I've asked that question. And even myself, when I was at different pivotal points in my life, when I've asked myself that, it almost is like a deer in headlights sort of look, because no one ever truly asks you that question,
Yes.
you know, with no,
yeah.
right.
With no strings attached,
exactly,
right?
Yes.
It's very different.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, my motto has always been, you can't get what you want until you know what you want.
Exactly.
Right. So get very clear
Right.
on what you want.
Yes.
And then go from there. Follow that path.
Right.
Which I think leads us into our next question. So if you can talk about how everyone has the power to manifest and maybe give some examples of what you've seen.
I've seen a lot of different
I'm
things.
sure you have.
I've seen people manifest free cups of coffee to a free first class ticket to Hawaii.
We know who got that.
Yes. So, I mean, it really is limitless.
Mm-hmm.
It is really limitless. And so much of manifestation and the secret behind it is really releasing how we think we're going to manifest it, the timeline that we think we're going to manifest it, and what we're actually manifesting. A lot of times things that we want to call into our life come in a way that we could never even imagine. And it could be on a timeline that is not ours.
Yes.
And so I think sometimes that's where a lot of blockages come up around manifestation. Is we think that if we want one thing, it needs to come in potentially this particular way on this particular timeline. And if it doesn't, then the universe hates us and we're screwing it up and we can't manifest and we're not good at it. And it couldn't be farther from the truth. So it really is leaning into the unexpected and the anticipation of it could happen at any time.
And I truly feel that once you get good at it, it can happen faster. Like for me, my last manifestation, another free trip to Costa Rica.
Oh my gosh.
I manifested in 7 days. So I put it on my vision board on January 13th. On January 20th, I had all of the details. I had the retreat booking me with this woman who's been on the TLC show, and it's like a healing soul retreat. It's like perfect. It's so on brand for me. But it only took me 7 days this time.
That's incredible.
Manifest.
Right. And so when you get into, it's almost like a manifestation flow. When you get into practice doing it, then you see the layer of fun that is superimposed on life. Like you get to see the magic because life is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be, we're supposed to be able to manifest all day long.
Right.
I mean, it's not there for me yet. Yet is the key word, but that's what it's supposed to be like. We're supposed to be able to do that. And so just recognizing that in itself is a huge perspective shift, I think, for a lot of women.
Okay. And that probably ties back into what you were saying, like co-creating with the universe. Like it's fun to co-create, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. And it's fun to just put something out there, like free cup of coffee. That's like a fun challenge just to get into the manifestation vibe is let me see if I can manifest a free cup of coffee and see how it comes in. It could literally be in any way. It could be a friend drops it off. It could be a coupon for one. It could literally come in anywhere. And that excitement, knowing that free cup of coffee could come at any time. It's that vibration. It's that vibration of excitement and anticipation and fun and expect the unexpected sort of frequency that matches what we're trying to call in.
Yes. Yeah. That energetic frequency she's kind of referring to.
Yes.
And for those who are baby manifestors, so she means maybe just start out with this stepping stone, if you will, of ask the universe for a free cup of coffee. Is that how they do it?
Yeah.
Okay. And then wait.
Yep.
Right?
And let it go. Release the outcome, release how it's going to come in, release when it's going to come in, and just expect a free cup of coffee to come in at any time. And it gets mind blowing. It really does. And then it just takes once or twice for those little things to happen. And then you'll start to see like, okay, if I can manifest a free cup of coffee, the sky is the limit. Not even the sky.
Like start with the coffee, right? And then you'll be like me, manifesting free trips to Costa Rica.
Exactly.
It's like baby
steps. Like that easy.
But my trick is like, and I don't know if this is for you too, I always say thank you to the universe.
Yes.
So gratitude is huge for me. Is that the same for you?
Yes, gratitude is one of the highest frequencies that you can be in. And so when I'm talking about frequency and energetic vibrations, there's a certain match that we like to try to operate in as much in our day as possible. So for example, if you spend your day in joy and anticipation and excitement and love and gratitude, you're most likely much more able to call in things that you want to manifest, because it's at a higher frequency than sadness or
anger
or jealousy or those kinds of vibrations. Not to say we're human, of course we're going to experience all of that, but it's just having that awareness that gratitude is key, and is to be thankful and grateful for everything that we do have, so that the universe can give us more. Right.
Coffee to Costa Rica. There you go, guys. All right. So my next question, it says, talk about how you help people feeling restless. I think this was another one of your Instagram. I have so many of my friends who say that they feel unsettled, and this is what I call the blow up your life phase. So I have so many women in their 40s that just want to blow up their life.
Right.
So can you talk on that?
So this is very common. And again, it's just because I think that there are so many women who are just realizing now that there's more for them, that they are meant for more, that they are here to do big things. They are here to fulfill their purpose, and they're not quite sure what that means, how to get there, how to bridge the gap. And so we always come back to that question of what do you want and how do you want to feel? Because it's tapping into the feeling of what they actually want to feel like every single day. It's tapping into that will again open up the entire gamut of potential of what they can do next. So for example, a lot of women that I talk to will say, I want more money. And so one of the things, because if I had money, I would be able to do this and this and this and this. And it's not actually the money that a lot of women want. It's what money represents. And so money represents freedom. Money represents choice. Money represents a lot of these things. So it's tapping into the feeling of freedom and what that feels like. And so you can start to, by drilling down and getting kind of granular with it, then you can start to see what actual aligned action steps you can start to take, so that you can start to create what you're here to create and actually fulfill your purpose.
So if they are listening at home and they can identify, there's this mom, her kids have gone off to college now. She's for the first time able to think, oh, wow, what do I want to do with my life? So you ask her, what do you want?
Right.
And she's like, I want more money.
Yep.
And then you say, well, you want more money so you can feel what? Like free to travel, a new house. Is that how you break it
exactly down? That would be like, what does money represent? If money represents freedom, is it, again, freedom to travel? Is it freedom to, what is it for them? Is it freedom to start a new business? Is it freedom, or is it just to be able to have the choice to do literally anything they want?
So if they want to spend their day in sweatpants, they can, instead of having to go sit behind in a cubicle.
Right. A lot of the conversations, though, that I have with my clients are very business oriented, but a lot of it has to do with purpose, just feeling unfulfilled in what they're currently doing. So loving their business, but feeling unbalanced. It's not necessarily fulfilling their passion. They may be successful at it and they may make a lot of money, but it might not be filling that purpose part. And then it could be the other way around, where women are just ready for a change. I think there is just this general sense of feeling called for more. That there's more out there. And there is.
There always is.
There is.
Level up. Get it, girls.
There is.
So that makes me wonder, on average, how long does it take a woman to change and shift and manifest?
I think that's all depending on how ready they are to do the work. And I manifestation is fun and is exciting. And it's also work. It's also understanding. It's a lot of inner work and understanding, right?
Yeah.
What that comes with, because there's always duality in everything. So can you hold everything that you are trying to manifest and everything that comes with that? So, for example, back to money, the women that I've talked to that have wanted to manifest more money, and they've also had to be able to hold what that comes with. So that might come with family members asking for money. That might come with
maybe more stress,
more stress, maybe bigger investments. If you are making more money, then it's almost like the bar is lifted. And that's not to deter anyone. It's just a reality of how we navigate the duality of manifesting, because it's not always we pick something and then we get it. It also comes with ourselves up leveling to be able to hold it, because we don't want to hold it and then let it go.
Right.
The goal with manifesting is to be able to call something into our life and then become the energetic match that can hold it, that can sustain it, because there's no point in manifesting money and then have it leave the next day. Right? We want to hold it. Yeah. We want to be able to hang on to it.
We don't want to fold them.
You know, perfect. So I think with that, it's really based on what level of comfort, the work, you know, the inner work, the true spiritual work that comes along with up leveling in any area of life.
Okay. All right. Well, for me, I can say that's like an ongoing thing. So
Same.
I don't know.
I'm not, believe me, I'm doing my part.
We know, because we've done that.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So that was going to be my question. You know, what is the number one roadblock you see in clients as far as manifesting or when they upgrade their life?
I think that would be it. I would think it would just be blocking themselves in a way that they feel like either they're not open to everything that's possible, or because they haven't seen it yet, it's not possible for them, or it gets a little challenging, so they must not be good at it. Or a lot of times we just get in our own way, to be honest. That truly, in my opinion, is one of the biggest blocks, trying to control the whole manifestation process, and we get in our own way instead of just allowing it to unfold. And I think also too, another big thing would be recognizing that everything is happening for you and not to you. Everything, whether it's positive or negative, because nothing ever is like truly negative. It's always for growth. So everything is happening for you. I think that was probably one of the biggest realization points when I started really diving into my own spiritual journey, is that everything is for me. It's not happening to me. If you can make that perspective shift just in daily life, your whole life will change.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
And then that brings me to my next question. So can we talk about signs? Because that was the course, and that's actually what you were talking about on the way in. She left her house at 2:22.
Yep.
She was in the parking lot at 2:34. So it seems to me that numbers are big signs for you.
Right.
Okay.
Numbers. I always pay attention to the numbers, because to me that's they're the easiest way of realizing the communication that is coming from the universe. So angel numbers, people are typically familiar with what they are, and if you're not, they are just repeating patterns of numbers that could be the same number repeated, or it could be something that's personal, you know, to each individual. But signs are incredibly fun, and they are so important. And once you realize and start to begin to understand the signs that are there to guide you, they're almost like guideposts or markers. If you think of signs as like the GPS navigation system for your life, because the universe is always trying to give us information and to let us know that we are completely supported. We are totally in the right place at the right time always. And the way the universe does this is by showing us signs. But if we're not
Yes.
aware of them, then we miss them. And it's just increasing our awareness to recognize signs is extremely impactful in just daily life. So for example, one of the things, as I mentioned, is I always look out for angel numbers, because that to me is just my way of knowing that the universe is constantly guiding me.
Yes.
So every time I am in the midst of making a decision, or just in life, like leaving my house today, I always will just look at the clock or look at numbers. And a lot of times they are just reminders to me that I am absolutely where I'm supposed to be in that moment.
So she was supposed to be here for you guys today.
Yeah. And it provides so much freedom, because if you think about, if you were able to move throughout your day knowing that every decision that you made was perfect, and that everything that you were doing was perfectly timed, all of the freedom that brings, all of the energy that saves, the brain space of worrying, wondering, questioning, if you just could tap into the awareness of looking for signs and receiving them, then the relief that you feel always is immeasurable. It truly is.
Yeah.
And you're able to just move faster. You're able to move with more freedom, with more ease, and feel like you're in more alignment.
Clarity.
Yes. You can just move. You see signs, you make decisions, you move, you trust, and then it's like an ongoing cycle.
It's like you're seeing eye dog. So for me, heart shapes have been my sign since 2014.
Wow.
So I actually got one tattooed on my arm. It's a heart shape.
Oh, I love that.
Because heart shapes, like finding them on the ground or wherever, are kind of like my yellow brick road.
Yep.
So when I have a big decision to make, I kind of ask the universe, like show me a sign. And the universe knows, okay, I got to show her a heart shape,
Yes.
So it does every single time. And this has now been 11 years of doing this, that heart
It's
shapes.
incredible.
So are there other kind of things, like, so maybe someone listening is not into angel numbers. Like, is a cardinal a sign?
It could be anything. Yes. It could be anything that resonates with that particular individual.
Okay.
It could be, it doesn't have to be numbers. It could be animals. It could be shapes. It could be songs. It could be anything that has some kind of meaning to that particular person. And if you don't have a sign that automatically resonates, that you can't think of something, then I always just invite my clients to find a couple moments of stillness where it's just quiet, and just close your eyes and ask for a sign. And whatever pops into your head, that's the sign that you look for. And they can always change, just because that's another question that I get very often is, if I close my eyes and I pick a sign and it's, let's say, an elephant, does that mean that it's an elephant for the rest of my life? Maybe, but maybe not. Everything evolves and changes as we do. And it's really our interpretation of it.
Okay.
So it's very nuanced and it's very personalized to each individual.
Okay.
But being able to recognize them in general for specific people is just so key in helping with manifestation and realizing your dream life or business.
Ooh.
It is.
So let's give them a hardcore key takeaway example. We've got, say, Amy. Amy's listening at home. She's going to go meditate. And she's going to, just close her eyes. And then she says to the universe, aloud or in her mind, hey, show me a sign if I should take this job. Is that how it works?
You can do it that way, or you can just ask for a sign. So a lot of people that I work with signs and synchronicities are, a lot of times they're just starting out. And so it's getting in the practice first of asking and receiving before putting heavy meaning on particular signs, because before you can apply meaning to signs, in my opinion, like that, to be able to make decisions, you have to be able to see them and recognize them for what they are first. So if somebody has, let's say, a cardinal, and they know that a cardinal shows up whenever they're feeling a certain way, then that's a perfect example of, should I take this job, or show me a cardinal if I should. The thing here, though, is it's not on our timeline.
Right.
So if we say, I need to know in 24 hours,
Yeah, good luck with that.
or
Yeah.
do I take this job or not?
Yeah.
Ultimately, that comes back to, we already know, because if you're tapped into your intuition, you have a feeling one way or another, even if it's buried deep down.
Yes.
And so that too is a lot of conversations that I have with clients, and how I can help sort of extract that when maybe the sign isn't coming in the 24 hours, because it doesn't have to. And so an actual real life example for me was, I had gotten a nudge to start a mastermind. This is probably, like 2 years ago.
Okay.
And I was just launching this business, and it was something that I really thought would be helpful, is to have these conversations in a group coaching container. And I got that nudge, and I was like, okay, universe, well, if I'm supposed to do this mastermind, then I want you to fill it with 10 people by such and such a date, because otherwise I feel like maybe I'm not supposed to do it. So I got 3 people. And so I could have looked at this at 2 different ways. I could have said, well, I didn't get the 10, so I'm not doing it.
Right.
Like, I must not be meant to do it. Or I got 3 people, so there must be a reason why I should move forward with it. And because I had gotten the nudge initially to start the mastermind, and then 3 people joined, I went forward with it. And so now it's been 2 years, and I still have the same container open. So it's been really successful. And had I looked at it like, I didn't get the 10 people, and so I'm not going to do it, that would have been a different outcome.
Yes.
So it really does go back hand in hand with trusting your intuition.
I 100%. Yeah, you wouldn't be here if I had, because like this whole podcast thing came to me basically in a dream. Like, I just woke up one morning, I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to do a podcast. Well, I have no idea how to do a podcast, but here we are, whatever, 7 months later. But I listened,
Right. It's listening, and then it's taking that aligned action, even if you're not sure, or even if it doesn't necessarily look exactly like we think it's going to look. But it's so important.
Okay. So for Amy, who is maybe listening, this fictitious Amy, she's looking for a sign. She sees a blue Mariposa, which is the blue butterfly, and that's her sign. And then the next morning she sees the butterfly, and it means she's supposed to move to California. There you go. Right? Yeah. That kind of like an example though, right?
Right.
Like basically, like lean into it, trust it, take that first step.
Right. Because just like me, I'm not, again, with my clients, I'm not here to tell them what to do.
Right.
I'm here to remind them they already know what to do. Signs are the same. They're just validation.
Yeah.
So whether you move or you don't move, you're right. But if you're meant to, then you'll feel that intuitive guidance, and then the sign will come.
Yes.
So sometimes we have to move before we are ready. And that also means before we see the sign.
Yes.
Because maybe you move and then you see the sign. So it's just understanding all of that. There is no like black and white answer, which is where I come in.
Well, that was my last question, is like, how can they work with you?
So I have the Signs and Synchronicities Masterclass, which is an instant download.
Yes, it's great. It's very easy to follow.
Thank you. So it goes over what signs and synchronicities are, how to ask for them, and then how to receive them. So it's a really great way to, again, get introduced to this whole idea, or as a refresher.
Right.
And then beyond that, I have different offers based on the level of readiness, I would say, that a particular woman would be at for really wanting to apply signs and intuitive intelligence and those kinds of concepts into their really manifesting their dream life and business. So I have private coaching available, and then I also have my mastermind or group container too. So that is.
I was personally told by someone who used you to do this that you helped up level her life. So like, she's legit, guys. But can they work with you like in person, or is it just Zoom pre-recorded, or can they actually like talk to you back and
Yeah,
forth?
so I offer, most of mine are actually via Zoom.
Okay.
I also utilize Voxer. So
Okay.
a lot of my coaching is done with voice memos back and forth.
Okay.
And then one-on-ones on via Zoom.
Okay, so it can be individualized.
It can be,
yep.
Yeah, so I can do private, individualized coaching, and then also I do group coaching, and all of that is virtual.
Okay.
So doesn't matter where you are.
There's just a siren going on in the background right now. So, all right, now that that's gone, can you tell them how to find you? Like, what's your website, your socials, all that?
So I mainly hang out on Instagram. That's probably the easiest way to find me. So I am at jessica.lynn.parillo on Instagram. And I have my stand store, my link in bio. So that has usually everything that I'm offering right now. But I also have my email address listed there. And that's probably the best way to get in touch with me.
That's how I got in touch with her. She's very quick to respond to, which I appreciate.
Well, thank you.
Yes. All right. So I will link that in the show notes for everyone. So if you want to work with Jess and up level your life, just click on the link in the show notes. And thank you so much for being here.
It's so much fun.
It just like flew by. I could talk about manifesting all day, but all right, guys, remember, happiness is a choice. So choose a happy day. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for listening. To stay connected to me, please visit my website at chooseahappyday.com. And at the bottom, just sign up for my email list to be notified of any upcoming events, book launches, as well as new podcasts. Until next time, have a happy day.